Hi guys, Commerce with Mac here today to teach Cambridge O-Level Business Studies paper 27115. This is October-November paper 2021. Before we move on to this video, just you need to remember one thing. We are not going to solve 7115 paper 2. We are going to solve together another paper. So many students have a confusion between Cambridge O-Level and Cambridge IGCSE. In this video, I'm going to teach two papers at once. How can you do that? It's very easy. Cambridge O-Level 7115 paper 2 and you can see 0450 paper 2 are same, which means the same content which is in 7115 paper is tested in 0450 paper. The code is different, but the paper is the same. Before we move on to this paper solving, I just wanted to show you how it looks like. You can see here it's play safe playground equipment is the case study which we are going to do today. And also in 0450 paper, when I bring this down the cursor, you can see play safe playground equipment as the case study which we are going to do. And the questions are also similar. There's no difference between the question. Explain two reasons why PP remains small, and also in this you can the same thing, explain two reasons why PP may remain small, and the questions are similar. So we are going to do the two papers together at once. Before we move on to this video, I just want to remind you guys, please subscribe the channel. 75% of my viewers haven't subscribed it yet, my channel, but still we have a lot of subscribers coming in day by day. Keep giving your support so I can upload a lot of videos in future and help you to sort out a lot of case studies, even in upcoming exam papers also. In this video, comment which paper I need to do for you to get ready and make you guys prepare for exams. Before we move on to this paper solving, just want to remind you, Commerce with Mac is a YouTube channel which teaches commerce, accounting, economic business studies for Cambridge O-Level, IGCSE, Edexcel, AS and A-Level, all platforms. So you can ask any papers you wanted through a comment out of this video. So let's start the first part. Before we move on to this paper, you just need to remember one particular thing, that this paper is 1.5 hours, either 0450 or 7115. Many students doesn't understand the question properly, so I'm going to teach you the tricks and tips how to score better on a paper 2. On my previous videos, I have uploaded paper 1 completely one by one. You can watch, it is in the description below. So let's move on to the paper. And first, when you start a paper, always remember, when you have time, 1.5 hours, always read the questions properly and understand which part to highlight, and then you can start doing the paper. So in this, I'm going to teach you which areas to highlight, and then we can switch on to the questions. There are two methods you can start doing the paper. Either you can start reading the entire paper and start the entire question and start answering the question, or either you can read the question and come back to the case study. So anyway, I'm going to go on the second method. I always read the questions first of all before we move on to the case study, so it gives me an idea which areas I need to focus. So before we move on to the case study beginning, I'm going to read the questions on this paper. Now you guys can see here, the first question speaks about explain two reasons why PPE may remain small. They are given a reason. So reason you get 1 mark, for explanation you get 3 marks out of your paper. So again, reason 2 and explanation, all together you get 8 marks. In paper 2, they have given 3 options. Consider the advantages and disadvantages of 2 suitable types of business organization for PPE. Which do you think is the best one if PPE grows? Justify your answer. They given type of business organization 1 and type of business organization 2, and then they have given you recommendations. So a 12-mark answer, how do we score? At least you need to give 4 points for business organization 1 and 4 points for business organization 2, and then 4 points why it is good, why option 1 is better than option 2, and why option 2 is not better than option 1. So based on your preferences, always remember guys, when you're writing this type of question, I'll explain you how to score, but to watch the entire way of scoring, you need to watch the entire video, then only you will understand. So let's move on. On my previous videos, many students have requested me to go slow, so I'm teaching you very slowly on this video, though it takes a lot of time. If you think this explanation is very slow, listen to this in a very fast mode. Second question speaks about explain two advantages and two disadvantages of using job production. And then they have given two advantages and two disadvantages. So then B of second question, consider the advantages and disadvantages to PPE of using the following three sources of finance to obtain new machinery. Which source should PPE choose? Justify your answer. Either crowdfunding, bank loan, leasing. Recommendation. Then we have third question, explain one cost and one benefit for PPE of developing a new product, cost of developing a new product and explanation, benefit of developing a new product and the explanation. And third B, consider the following three pricing methods PPE could use when launching its new product. Which pricing method should it use? Justify your answer. Cost plus pricing, penetration pricing, and skimming. And then they have given you explain four functions of management carried out by Kari: function 1, function 2, function 3, and function 4. Using Appendix 2 and the other information, consider whether PPE should produce only large items of playground equipment or produce only small items of playground equipment. Justify your answer using suitable calculations. So when they say calculations, guys, you need to calculate properly, and that calculation I will do it in a while. So we'll have a complete understanding how to do certain calculations. And based on the calculation, answer should be written here. So we are going to write the answer today. My previous videos you would have watched, I don't just read the questions and go ahead. I explain you one by one in detail. So those videos will help you all to score better on your papers. So either you can produce only large items of playground equipment, produce only small items of playground equipment, which is beneficial for you. In conclusion, you can give. So that's all, guys. The paper, it's a 80 marks paper which you're going to learn now. 80 marks. You need to remember. Many students ask me in paper 2, what are the areas that can test? I always give them a very simple things. On the first question, you can expect from the first 5 chapters, and the second question most probably from operations management and financial management. This question is tested in every papers, like which source of fund is good, which pricing method is used. Most of the major papers you can see this type of questions. Ordinary questions and management, they also touch those areas when it comes to function. And calculation is a very serious part, a 12 mark in all the papers. When I do more papers, you will understand how to do it in a better way. Let's start the paper now. So we are going to do Cambridge O level 7115 and 0450 paper together. So I'm going to read the 7115. It doesn't matter, I read 0450, 7115. The case study is the same part. Anyway, I'm going to zoom a bit for you guys to have a clarification. Whatever I'm underlining now, if you have a pencil or a pen and this past paper, when you're doing this past paper, print out the past paper, get the past paper with you. Now we're going to start now, guys. Take a pen with you. So you need to underline the areas which I'm saying you to underline, because for you guys to have an understanding which areas to focus. Because when you come back to the case study, you should only see the highlighted points, not read the case study again and waste your time. So let's start. Playlist, playgroup, playground equipment, PPE. Kari has always been creative and made wooden toys for her two children when they were young. Her children are now at school, so Kari decided to start her own business, making wooden playground equipment. So here is the case study starting. So we don't want to, one, they are saying creative. So I'm cutting these areas. So this is a introduction about the person called Kari. So you don't want to learn this. What is very important, Kari started her own business, and the business name is wooden playground equipment. The nature of the business is wooden playground equipment. So underline those areas on the first paragraph, because when I go down, I am not going to highlight this PDF. So when I come back, it will not be there. Anyway, so we'll move on to the next part. Kari started PPE as a sole trader business 3 years ago in country Z. She wants an income from the business, but also wants to spend time with her children. So she wants her business to be very flexible. That's what they are meaning in this case study. Kari wants the business to remain small. In one kind of reason, it is very flexible for her to spend time with her family. So she is thinking, if the business remains small, then her operations and other activities and involvement of the business will not be much greater. However, if the business grows, Kari may need to change to another type of business organization. Either she should make it as a partnership, or maybe a private limited company or a public limited company. So most probably it will be a partnership or a private limited company. Now you understand why I read those questions, because they ask two types of business organizations. So I'm underlining two types of business organization here from our concern, either partnership or private limited company. Kari carries out all the management roles in the business. So she is sold own business. So she is doing the entire thing in the business. So she has a lot of responsibilities. Anyway, we'll move on to the next part, the third paragraph. So here you need to underline few things. Kari started 3 years ago. This is one point, and also she wants an income, but wants to spend time with her children. So flexible timing, that's what it means. So always write a small note whenever you're writing a point. Kari wants the business to remain small. That is already on the question, so you don't want to underline. However, the business grows, Kari may need to change to another type of business. So which type of business organization? Here you can put a put something like, okay, from your points in your writing, in your paper, write partnership. And what did I say, guys? Private limited company. So any two of these you can underline and write it and keep it, so it will be helpful. So I have written here, you can't see it, but I'm saying this, when I go down you will not see these points. I'm just giving you, so mark it down on your papers. Anyway, so let's move on to the next part. And also one more thing they have given, Kari carries out all management roles. So she has the complete responsibility of carrying out the all management roles. So Kari uses job production to produce high quality, individually designed playground equipment. So there's something called job production, batch production, flow production. If you all doesn't know what is job production, batch production, flow production, listen to this very carefully. A job production is where one particular person is offering to another particular person a service, most probably a tailored service. For example, a wedding dress, maybe a wooden toy based on a tailor need. You know, tailor need means a request made by the customer. Based on the customer's need, you prepare some sort of product, is what we say job production. Handmade thing, very much skills needed to do this type of production. Batch production, a set of batches, maybe a uniform you produce, we say as a set of batches. Uniforms, you can say maybe a quantity from 10 to 15. So tailoring, dresses, garments comes under batch production. Or pancakes, breads, 50 breads, 60 breads, 60 donuts comes under this type of batch production. Flow production is about producing one particular product for the entire whole market. Most probably a Coca-Cola bottle, the same flavor to the entire market they are going to serve. A Milo from Nestle is also a good example you can use as a flow production. So with this three ideology, we understood Kari is a person who is using job production, right? So job production is about giving something directly for one person's need and satisfying that one person particularly one-to-one. So with that knowledge, we are going to move on to this third paragraph. Kari uses job production to produce high quality, individually designed playground equipment. Kari designs all the equipment herself and she employs 3 skilled workers to help her make her products. PPE currently makes both large and small items of playground equipment each week. So they have given here few things you need to understand. She's most concerned about the high quality, and she's more concerned about designing. She's designing individually playground equipment, and also she has 3 people she has employed in her company, in her own not a company, on her own business. She has taken 3 people and she's giving them work, and these 3 people are very skilled because it is job production. You need to remember that particular thing, because it's not the same thing they're doing day by day. PPE currently makes both large and small, and that's they have given on the case study. So underline these things. With that, we are going to move on to the 4th paragraph. Kari uses cost plus pricing, as every item of playground uses different quantities of raw material. So what is this cost plus pricing? Now I'll take this as an example. Now you can see this is a daily milk. This has a cost, right? So maybe if this product's cost is 50 rupees, the business will keep another 50 as a profit and they will sell. So above the cost of the product, if they keep a margin to sell, that's what we say cost plus pricing. In easy terms, if this drink cost is 50 rupees, then if they, $50, not $50, I'll go with in this way. If this product cost is $5 and if they sell at $10, $5 is profit, because they are keeping cost above cost, they are keeping a profit and they are selling. That's what we say cost plus pricing. As the raw material of this business is different from one product to another, this person Kari needs to use different prices and different way of cost plus pricing. But in the question, they had a few questions they asked on the paper. Which question is which area is better, cost plus pricing, or they are given 2 other pricing. penetration and skimming, which is better? So we'll move on to the point and discuss one by one in later questions. Then we move on to the next part. I'm going to erase this off. Yeah. Kari uses cost plus pricing, as every item of playground items use different quantities of raw materials. She sells small items of playground equipment to retailers and large items of playground equipment to the government. So she serves two markets. One is she is giving it to retailers, the people who will sell to the direct consumers. So students doesn't know these terms, it will be very difficult for you all to understand what are these terms, how can you understand. So know these terms very carefully. That's what I'm saying, explaining one by one. And if you know this already, don't waste your time on my explanation. But if you feel that this explanation is very useful, watch the entire part, don't miss out any of the area, because every term I'm explaining on this case study. So retailers are the people who sell the product towards direct end consumers. Wholesalers take the products and they give it a bulk discount. But retailers, they don't do that. They just purchase from you, they sell to the customers directly. And the second market, the large items, they're selling it to the government. And also they're saying there are many competitors in the market. You need to know that point. There are a lot of competitors. So you should be very careful. You can't charge just as you think. You can't just charge prices. Kari plans to obtain new machinery which will cost $20,000. She is considering using crowdfunding, as this is one of the way to raise capital for new business investment. Other options including leasing and asking a bank loan. So you all need to know what is crowdfunding when you all are doing this question. So what is this crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is where if the business doesn't get a source of way to raise finance, they can ask certain investors through online and they can collect some money to do the business. But the first thing is they need to produce the product and give it to the ventures hands, ventures like almost like venture capital companies. So they will see your product, and if they're satisfied, they will pay you, or they will give you as an investment to do the business. Here to buy the machinery, Kari should give her plan to these ventures. Sometimes if the ventures doesn't like it, they won't invest. And another problem is like if Kari is using a crowdfunding, she might share her idea. So anyone can take that and use it for their own preferences. So it's not a good move as well. Anyway, so we'll move on to the point. Kari has developed a new unique product this year. A unique is like innovative. There are no other similar products in the market. So let's see the appendix number 1. So as I said, here we need to underline no other similar product and unique product. So unique product is like giving you a brand image, because no one has the product like yours. So I'm going to erase this off, these lines, and you can see here advertisement for PPE appendix 1. Buy your playground equipment from us. At PPE, we manufacture high quality playground equipment and have better designs than our competitors. All our equipment has been fully tested and is guaranteed to meet legal safety standards. We are the main supplier of playground equipment to the government for public parks, so you know our equipment can be trusted. Contact us today for a price list. So it's a good advertisement actually. They are targeting a certain set of customers, but also they are informing that these customers need to know that they are so concerned about the quality. They have much better designs than the competitors, and they are fully tested and it has the legal safety standards. And they are also saying that they provide it for government projects too. So they are saying they already won the trust on this advertisement, so people will believe them and go ahead and purchase the product. So these appendix are related to the questions which we read before. So we'll move on to the next part. Appendix 2. I'm going to erase this off. Cost and revenue information for PP. So this is the calculation part every paper will have. So you should be very careful when you're doing this calculation. You should give a correct explanation on this calculation. You can see here, average selling price is $100. Small item of playground equipment. Average cost of manufacture is $25. Output each week is 15. And then large item of playground equipment, $100 average selling price. Average cost of manufacture is 500. Output each week is 3. Now I'm going to take these two information and going to construct a profitable statement. So I'm going to use my whiteboard to do this two statements. So let's start doing it, guys. So I'm going to write here small equipment, two topics to make it easy for me to understand and for you to understand. Here I'll put large equipment. Small equipment for retailers, large equipment to the government. So I'm gonna calculate the amount of profit the business is making in small equipment and in the large equipment. Small equipment, they're saying average selling price is 100, average cost of manufacture is 25. Now output per each week is 15. So I'm going to calculate the selling price into output each week and the cost to find out the exact profit the business is making. So I'll write here average selling price SP. So I can write selling price into quantity will give me total revenue. You all know this. So average selling price was 100, quantity was 15. So my total revenue is $1,500. Okay. Now I'm going to find the cost. Now this is total revenue. Cost, how do you find? Cost per unit into quantity. Okay, quantity. So will give me total cost. So in this you can see how much is the total cost they have taken. They have taken 25 cost of manufacturer into 15 is my actual cost. So 25 into 15 is my cost. So I'll write here 25 into 15 will be how much, guys? 250, $375. So I'll write here $375. And then I'm going to find the profit of the business. So how do I find the profit of the business? I'll take my total revenue and deduct the total cost. So my total revenue is 1,500. My total cost is 375. So I'm making a profit of how much, guys? $1,175 in small equipment. So now I'm going to calculate the large equipment and see how much the profit the business is actually making. Let's calculate the large equipment's profit. We have the large item of playground equipment is 1,000. Cost of manufacture is 500. And output each week is 3. So I'm going to take the same formulas to do this. My selling price of large equipment, so as you all know, selling price is SP into quantity QTY will give me total revenue, right? So what is my selling price? 1,000. I'm selling 3, so I'm getting a total revenue of 3,000. And then I'm going to find the cost of this production cost actually. So I know cost per unit into quantity will give me total cost, right? So when you are doing this sum, you should calculate this and keep, then it's very easy to you to write the answer on your paper. Question number 4. So cost per unit is 500 into 3 units they are producing quantity. So the cost is actually 1,500. So I'm going to take 1,500, I mean total revenue minus total cost will give me a profit. So my total revenue is how much? 3,000. My total cost is 1,500. So I'm getting a profit of 1,500. Now, before we conclude this calculation, we can do one more thing. Can we calculate net profit margin and gross profit margin? This is what you need to see. Here in this question, you can't calculate net profit margin. The reason, a net profit margin is only calculated if there's a fixed cost. Most probably, you will have some sort of indirect expenses. But here, this cost is variable cost. They are using only cost per unit. So you would have learned in accounting, cost per unit is variable cost. And when you have fixed cost, it becomes you can calculate the net profit. So here there's no fixed cost, so I'm only going to calculate the gross profit. How do we do that? So we got a profit of 1,100 and gross profit margin. I'll write the formula for gross profit margin. So I have a cost of 1,175. I mean, I got a profit. First of all, I'll show you how to get this gross profit. The formula, divide by sales into 100. So I'm going to take 1175 divide by 1500 into 100. What is my percentage? Take your calculator and find the answer now. Yeah, guys, you all would have already found out I made a small mistake here. What's the mistake? It's not 1175, it should be 1125. So I found this mistake. So the actual profit which we have calculated is 1125, not 1175. I'm going to erase this off. It's going to be 1125. So I'm going to change this 1175 into 25. Now I'm going to calculate 1175 to 1125 divided by 1500 into 100 will give me a percentage of 75%. Okay, so you might do one or two mistakes on your paper, but when you always see that is the calculation, normally they won't give you. When I calculated this, I got around 78.3%. So I know that the examiner will never give you a tough percentage like that on your papers. So they will always try to give you a round of figure like 75%, 25%, 29, 28%, never like rounding off when it comes to this type of cost calculation, because this is not accounting exam, this business studies paper. So here also I can find the gross profit margin. As you already know the formula, I'm going to apply GP divided by sales into 100. So GP is gross profit. Gross profit is 1500 divided by 3000 into 100 will give me a value of 50%. So from this understanding that investing in small equipments and time investment on this is a good particular thing, because it's they are giving a good return. But when it comes to stableness, the government is very stable. The government will pay you on time. You don't want to rely on the customers. So large production, even if it is like a small amount of quantities, you can increase the number of profit. Now for example, here you need to produce a lot like 15 units, but here you are producing only 3. The time taken on each product will decide which products to take. So your decision should be very properly given when you're doing this type of calculation. On the fourth part I'll be discussing. Anyway, so we'll move on to the paper now. We have discussed the calculation area. So moving on to the next part, the third article, appendix. I'm taking a lot of time in explaining this because many students doesn't know. I don't know, is there any YouTube channel which teaches papers in detail, but I just wanted to give my best on this explanation. The same explanation which I give for my class students, I am giving today in this video. Appendix 3 speaks about newspaper article, main news 1st October 2021. Children need to get more exercise and play outside. So this is another promotion they are giving on a newspaper article. Research suggests that playing outside helps children relax after school and improves their health. The government in country Z has allocated 10 million to spend on improving children's playgrounds in public places. This means there will be $5,000 to spend on equipment for each public playground. So as I said, on the long term, if you see, there's a lot of chances, because they are going to spend $5,000 in each project, means the person who is getting now 1,500 will get $3,500 most probably. So the money which this lady is going to get is going to be very high, because the government has planned to spend 10 million on the upcoming project. So I will always suggest to go with the answer number 2, that though the profit is less for now, always don't see the profit. It's a very short-term target. And we have retailers have reported increasing demands for small items of playground equipment as parents want to have these products at home. This trend is expected to continue. Now there's a confusion. Government is saying they're going to invest 5,000 on the long term, and also people wanted more products at home. So you need to give a good conclusion when it comes to this calculation part of your paper. So that's all when it comes to this appendix explanation. I have explained you the entire thing. So we are going to write the paper now together. So now we'll move on to the paper, guys, and start writing one by one answer. So when I say writing, we are going to write one by one. Though it takes a hour of time, it doesn't matter. Write this paper with me, so you will learn a lot of things. First part, A. Explain 2 reasons why PPE may remain small. What might be the reason you think that PPE is remaining very, very small? As I said, this lady, what's her name? Kari, has decided to spend some time with their family. So she wants to make it small. So I will write here flexible timings. Yeah. flexible timings. Then you can write, as Kari wanted to spend more time with her two children, she wanted to remain small. This will make her happy and keep her family secured. Kari also thinks that keeping, or you can say allocating time to children is one of a complete responsibility along with the PPE success. So this is the answer you just need to write when it comes to a 4 mark. These flexible timings will get you a mark on your paper. So why do you get 3 marks? One, we said that she wanted to remain small because she wanted to spend more time. Is one point which I wrote here. And then I also said that she wanted to keep her family very secured. So this is the second point which I spoke. So I'll write another 1 mark. And then finally she says that she thinks that if she can allocate more time to the family, she can also succeed. Another point. So this is how you score 4 marks on your paper. So we have written the reason number 1. Let's start writing the reason number 2. So I'm going to erase this off and move on to the number 2 answer. Reason 2. What might be the reason, guys? Why do you think Kari wants to remain small? Control of the business. Okay, so I'm going to write an explanation for this. As Kari is running the business solely, she wants to keep the control of her ownership. If the business expands, her duties and responsibilities will grow. Which will exceeds her control of business. This will also make her lose control of the business, or she needs to work more time in order to keep PPE in control. So the answer for this is control of the business. She don't want to lose the control of the business. So I'll write here 1 marks I get. And then I said that Kari is running the business solely. She wants to keep the control of her ownership. You don't want to lose the ownership. That's 1 more point. If the business expands, her duties and responsibilities will grow, which will exceed her control of business. So if her duties and responsibilities are increasing due to the expansion, she will lose the control. That's 1 more point. And then I also said that this will also make her lose control of the business, or she needs to work more time in order to keep the PPE in control. So as she already doesn't have much time, she don't want to work more time. That's the reason we are getting 4 marks out of this question. So we have answered an 8-mark question. Congratulations, guys. We have 72 marks to write. We'll write on the next day. Let me start with the next video. Along with this, we can see the second part of this video. Hi guys, we are on the second day. So I'm gonna explain you the 72 marks which we have missed yesterday. So we'll start on this video. Now, so moving on to the second part of this video, it says that consider the advantages and disadvantages of two suitable types of business organization for PPE. Which do you think is the best one if PPE grows? Justify your answer. So as I spoke on the previous explanation, that type of business organization, we can either take a partnership or a private limited company. As already this person is running a sole proprietorship, you can either go with sole proprietorship answer as well. Still, you will get marks. So if students have a confusion that do I need to write sole proprietorship or do I need to start with partnership and the private limited companies, I always say that if you feel comfortable with sole proprietorship and partnership, better you start with that explanation. So I'm gonna skip private limited company not to make it complicated, and we'll switch on to sole proprietorship and partnership on this answer. Consider the advantages and disadvantages of two suitable type of business organization for PPE. Which do you think is the best one if PPE grows? Justify your answer. So I'm going to speak about the advantages and disadvantages, and then I am going to write you the recommendation which is much suitable. So at least you need to remember one particular thing when you're writing this type of answer, a 12 mark one. Most probably when you have the selection of choosing options, you should always remember to write when you write about type 1 business organization has the chance of winning, write 3 advantages of business organization, 2 disadvantages. So and also ensure that you write 2 advantages in business organization of 2 and 3 disadvantages. The reason, you should always show that the disadvantages on the second option or first option should be higher when one option is winning. When I'm saying like this, you will not understand. When I write it, you will get it. So I'll start with the first one, sole proprietorship. You can write here sole proprietorship, sole trader. So they're asking, consider the advantages and disadvantages. So it should be in paragraph your answer in writing, and should be very nice for the examiner to read and understand. So you can write here, if Kara, as Kara or Kari, I can't remember the name, I'll just check it again. Kari. So I'll erase this off and start it again. Yeah. Sole trader. I'll write here, if Kari has started, or we can write, if Kari runs the business of sole trader, she can have the complete control of ownership of the business, which will enhance profit, enhance sole profit. Sole profit means the person will have the entire profit and she don't want to share. And also decisions will not be delayed. She can take decisions very faster. But on the other side, always remember to use the term but on the other side. So that is very easy for the examiner to understand. You are speaking about the disadvantages. What happens, students, they mix up everything. They just write for the sake of writing. So sometimes they write advantages and disadvantages. Always remember to divide and write your answer so examiner understands in a better way. So here also you can write, maybe I can also write another point of sole traders. This also gives much flexibility for Kara to run her business. There's one more thing you need to speak on this type of question. And the disadvantages of this business can be, but on the other side, she won't be able to raise more cash to expand, because she's the only own trader, as she needs to invest her own capital. Also, you can speak good decisions and expertise skills from others will be missed in this type of business. So actually I have scored almost 6 marks here. I'll tell you how I have scored, and I'll explain you what ways I have scored on the first part. You can see here, first, sole trader is one of the ideology. So giving the ideology, I mean giving the exact point, you get 1 mark. So I wrote about 1 marks here. If Kari runs the business of sole trader, she can have the complete control of ownership of the business, which will enhance sole profit. So it's another 1 point. So 2 marks I have received. And also decisions will not be delayed, and she can take decisions very faster. Another point, so I get 3 marks on this answer. This also gives much flexibility to Kara to run up a business. So I got 4 marks just by writing. So kill your examiner by writing the correct terms. So you should be always remember to write it in a paragraph manner. And also I have said the disadvantage in this way, but on the other side, she won't be able to raise capital, cash to expand, as she needs invest her own capital. So this is a disadvantages 1 I have wrote. And then I said good decision expertise skills from others will be missed in this type of business. So good decision and expertise skills means good experience decisions will be missed from this type of business. So I wrote another point, so I got 6 marks for this. But you need to note that I wrote 3 advantages here. So I write 3A and 2 disadvantages, because I want my first point to win this type of question. And on type of business organization 2, partnership, I'm going to write 3 disadvantages, 2 advantages. So if I just write the answer itself, I can score better on the paper. But why I'm giving more than the marks, because I will not lose that 12 marks. I always remind the students to write more than the points you can in the papers. Don't just write for the sake of writing. Students can say, so for us, I don't want to write for 6 marks, I just want to write for 4 marks. So at conclusion, I can catch it up. This is the wrong thing which I always see. My students who score more than 90s, I always remind them, don't target the marks of 12, target and write for 15, then only you will end up at 12, because examiners can sometimes give you good marks on certain opinions, and certain times they will cut it off on your exams. So let's move on to the second part of the question. I'm going to take the second answer as type of business organization to partnership. So I'll write here partnership. Start writing with me, guys. This type of business, always use the name of the owner, so that will be giving an idea that examiner will love you guys because you are using the term of the case study. So that gives you a chance to win the exams in a very more score basis. Okay, so Kari can increase the level of finance of the business by introducing more partners. She can take good and expertise decisions in expansion. Then I can write, but on the other side, I'm going to write 3 disadvantages, guys. I spoke about 2 advantages on that. Now I'm going to write three disadvantages. But on the other side, Kari should take decision by asking all the partners, which will delay her decisions. Then you can write the control of the business will be with the partners too. Kari should also share her profits with the partners. So I spoke about 2 advantages and 3 disadvantages. I'll show you what are the advantages here. Kari can increase the level of finance of the business by introducing more partners. 1 marks. She can take good and expertise decision in expansion. 1 mark. So I wrote 2 advantages. And then I'm going to speak about what are the disadvantages. But on the other side, Kari should take decision by asking all the partners. one disadvantage. Then which will delay her decisions. The control of the business will be with the partners too. Another disadvantage, two disadvantages. Kari should also share her profits with the partners. Three disadvantages. So I wrote three disadvantages and I wrote two advantages. So which means here the disadvantages is higher. So now my answer A wins because I wrote three advantages, two disadvantages. In B answer I wrote two advantages and three disadvantages. So when I take the minus, when I take 3 on my first answer advantage, which is plus, and I deduct the two disadvantages, I get 1 plus point. Here I take two advantages and deduct 3 minus answers, it will be minus 1. So my plus 1 always wins. So I should always give the recommendation as plus 1. That simple is that, guys. If you know this, if you don't understand, revise it again and you can understand this much clear manner. So I'm going to give a conclusion then. As my answer had 3 advantages on the first one and 2 disadvantages, 3 disadvantages on the second one, 2 advantages, I'm going to give a recommendation on the first one. Sole trader, I'll write here, ship will be the ideal business to Kari, as she is targeting, wants a flexible time and do not have an ideology, to expand. She can keep her customers niche. You know what's niche, guys? Niche means a short-term market, only a set of group of customers she will always target. She will never go for a big market. Her target is a set of people, and that can be also very forecasted and focused set of customers. So also she will say, if she turns out to partnership, she will lose her flexible timing and also always listen up to the partners. From the above two organization, it will be much better if Kari can choose the type 1. So now from this answer, I just gave almost like 4 to 5 points, but then still I always remind you, already we scored 12 marks on your A and B options, but it's better always to say a recommendation is always important when you're writing. So this is a bonus point actually. If you lose something, you can get from this area. Sole tradership will be the ideal business to Kari, and she wants a flexible timing. Here I have missed it. She wants a flexible timing and do not have an ideology to expand. She can keep her customers niche. So she don't want to expand, so she can keep her customers niche. So here you can put a comma, and here you can write timing, flexible timing. If she turns out partnership, she will lose her flexible timing and always listen up to the partners. You should always listen to them and take a decision. So it will take a lot of time in deciding the certain things on your business. From the above two organizations, it will be much better if Kari can choose the type 1, which I have explained you completely, the question number 1. So we'll move on to the question number 2 now. I'm going to erase this off, guys. Let's move on to the second part of the question. Explain 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of using job production. What might be the advantage 1, advantage 2, disadvantage 1, and disadvantage 2? As I said, job production. Now here they're asking you to explain. What happens between students is not understand the question properly. They think identify. Identify and explain is not same. Identify is where you need to write it down. It's write, name, list, identify. Everything is same. Explain, brief. Brief is somewhat a half of explanation. Briefly discuss, explain, all comes under the same set of words. So advantage number 1, you can write here, increase high sales. as Kari's business target individual customer needs, she can charge high prices from the customers by providing the product they need. So this is one of the best advantage when it comes to job production. Advantage two, we can say excellent customer service, or you can also say high sales is one of the reason I wrote. You can also say increase customer satisfaction. By providing what the customer base need, business can satisfy and create a niche market. Okay, so it says that by providing what the customer need, the business can satisfy and create a niche market. So when they create a niche market, of course, the satisfaction that will also bring more sales to the business. So the answer looks very similar, but different way of aspects. Create a niche market, and also this will create a satisfied base of customers. So what is the disadvantages of having job production? Very easy to understand. Job production needs a lot of time, first thing, and job production is very costly. If anything goes wrong, you need to repair it, so the cost is going to be very high, because each customers will have some sort of a mentality, this product should be in this way, and then you don't give the output what you have shown on the advertisement, then you might lose the customer, and also they can issue a big problem to your brand image. And the skilled employees should be paid very high rate, so the cost of production will be always high when it comes to this type of business. So I'll start with few of this because I have written a lot, so I'm going to clear this off. I'm going to write the disadvantages. Number one, what do I have? So disadvantage number one says skilled workers. Okay, PPE, I'll write PPE should hire skilled workers to provide what customer needs. These workers will demand a high amount of salary due to their skills acquired over a period of time. So these are the answers you can write when it comes to skilled workers. Disadvantages too, what might be the reason? You don't want to write this much of explanation. You can even say that this type of workers will demand a high salary, so that will increase the cost of products. That's also sometimes better. Disadvantages too, how do you say? As I said, that there's a lot of disadvantages of job production, like repair cost, business damage, image of the business will be damaged. So I can write disadvantages, reputational damage. You can write any point, guys. If you feel like any point you wanted to discuss, comment on the comment section. So if that point is valid, I will give you a comment of that this is correct and valid. So under reputational damage, I will write what is the best thing. If PPE doesn't provide the output the customer is expecting. The customers can sue the business. Where it will tarnish the image of the business. So it's very easy. Reputational damage, if you don't give what the customers are expecting, you might lose the customers, and also they will not stop from there. They will speak about you on media, social medias, and say this business is a business where they are trying to fraud you, different type of ways they can cheat you. So you should be very careful when you are taking money from your customers, and if you don't provide the service what they are expecting. So this is the answer for job production, which I have given 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. With that explanation, I'll move on to the next part of the question. We have consider the advantages and disadvantages to PPE of using the following 3 sources of finance to obtain new machinery. Which source should PPE choose? Justify your answer. So they are given crowdfunding, bank loan, and leasing. Then they're asking which is the best source to use. Now here there's 3 options. I don't want you to write 2 advantages, 3 disadvantages. 2 advantages, 1 disadvantages might be better. 3 points is more than enough when you're writing this type of answers. And which has the valid answer, write 2 advantages. Which has low answer, write much disadvantages. But at least justify 2 answers when it comes to recommendation to get the full marks. So I can write with the crowdfunding. Start why obtaining machinery will be good when it comes to crowdfunding. Here, actually, these people who are giving money are not the debtors or are not the creditors of the business. They are investing, so they are investors. Here you can also write this type of source of finance. This source of finance is not a debt, and it is considered as a investment. So there will be no interest charged on this source of finance. Okay, it's that easy, guys. So it says that the source of finance is not a debt and it is considered as investment. So there will be no interest charge on the source of finance. And also the good thing, the bad thing is, and also I'll write one more thing. If there's no other option for PPE to raise finance, this will be the ideal solution. Okay, I can give this in recommendation as well, or I can give here also. I can write the disadvantages. Sometimes the ideas you represent for venture capitalist or crowdfunding, I can write ventures might be stolen by them. So this is the first answer which I'm expecting you to write when it comes to crowdfunding. As I said on the explanation when I was reading this case study on the beginning of this video, I explained to you what is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is a set of way of raising finance. If you do not have money, you'll collect some money through internet, or set of ventures who is really ready to invest on your business, but they need a return of profit on the investment which you make. But they will ask you ideas, and if the ideas is worth, they will invest. If the idea is not worth, they will stop investing on your projects. Then we move on to the next part of the video. We have next part of the question, bank loan. So I'm going to erase this off, first one. We'll start with the second part. I'm going to write, as I said, I'm going to write the entire paper. So we are on the second B part. I'm going to do it. So bank loan, why bank loan is good and why bank loan is not good. The bank loan will provide will provide, no, I'll erase this off. The bank loan will provide more will provide more years to settle its loan. Okay, and the amount of bank loan for PPE can be negotiated. So you can request with a good business plan if you have, with a proper business plan. What is the bad thing of this type of business? Sometimes you will not get type of business loans because you will not get business loans because you are a sole trader, so you might lose. And on the other side, high interest might be charged by the banks, and also they might request Kari collaterals when obtaining bank loans. So what is collaterals, guys? Collaterals is like, if you can't get the loan from the business, they will ask some sort of deed of the property. Like, do you have a house? Do you have a vehicle? So bring that books of bring the vehicle's details, bring the house details. So they will take the copy of the deed, the house deed, and then only they will give you a loan. So that is a risk. Sometimes you might lose the house if you don't pay the lease or pay the loan on time. So we'll move on to the third one, which is the leasing part. So for me, crowdfunding seems a bit good because it's sole tradership. But when it comes to sole traders, bank loan, they don't give like that. You need to have a good plan. You need to negotiate it properly, and also you need to settle the loan with the certain term specification. So leasing, the good thing is you don't want to pay one-off money when you start the business. And also, like, you don't want to have pay the full amount. And remember one particular thing, leasing, they are not preferring, there are two types of leases: finance and operating lease. Finance lease is where you are paying monthly, and finally the ownership comes to you. Operating lease is where you are paying a small amount of upfront and getting the vehicle, using it, and not the vehicle here, the machinery, and giving the machinery back to the company which gave you the lease. So always remember, in exams they don't speak about finance lease, they speak about operating lease. So here they are meaning leasing is about operating leasing. If it is AS level or A level, the explanation which I am giving is might be very different, but as it is O level, you need to always remember it's an operating lease which they are speaking about. So moving on to the point we want to discuss, leasing. Okay, so I will write here, the business or the PPE do not want to pay an upfront, want to pay a huge amount to receive the machinery, and also the business will not take the maintenance cost. And also you can say the business will not take any maintenance cost. The business will not spend a lot of money. That's a good thing. They can stake for the need. They don't want to keep always the machine. Business can take the machine when it is in need. It is in need. And also the disadvantages is this: an upfront should be paid. Then you can also say you should pay a small amount. The amount payable, no, or you can write sometimes the business will not be able to lease the machine due to unavailability. This will This will increase the level of dissatisfied customers. So you should be very careful, like when you are giving a leasing, like the product is not available when you actually need the product, then the customers will not be happy with you. So here they have given a meaning for you to understand. PP do not want to pay a huge amount to receive the machinery because it's a leasing, it's an operating lease. You just need to pay a small amount, upfront amount, and then you can get the machinery. Also, the business will not take maintenance cost. So maintenance cost is taken by the company which is giving you the machinery. Business can take the machine when it is in need. You only need to get the leasing when you need. Actually, you don't want to always keep it, and you don't want to save a cost and save a machine or keep a machine in a place and waste your space. And upfront should be paid. A big amount should be paid when you are getting the leasing. Maybe a advance amount. Sometimes the business will not be able to lease the machine due to unavailability. This will increase the level of dissatisfied customers. So if you can't get the vehicle, if you can't take the machine when you actually need, then of course you might lose the orders what you have already received. So then we move on to the recommendation part. On these two, the best part I can suggest, either I will go with the option 1, which was the crowdfunding, or the option 2. So the minimum basement, if I go, I will always go with the crowdfunding part. So I'm going to explain you in this way. So which is better from the above? From the 3 options, always remember not to write from the above, I can conclude, I will decide, as per my knowledge. That is wrong answer when you're giving recommendation. So if I already given in that way of recommendation, from today onwards, change the way of writing. From the above, we can. We can means you take your examiner as your friend and say we can conclude. So examiner loves you because you are always making him as your friend when you're writing the exam paper. From the above, okay, we can conclude. So right here, crowd funding will be the most and utmost source of finance when raising money with less risk. The second option can be leasing, but PPE should pay an amount to hire it when it is in need, when it's in need, and going for bank loan and receiving a bank loan will have high procedures and high interest rate to follow. Which will be too much for sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship business PPE, or for too much for PPE. You can say too much for PPE, whatever the ways you can make it small your answer. So here I said from the above we can decide that funding will be the most, and crowdfunding is the best source because it's very less risky when you're taking the money. But then you can either but you can either sometimes lose your ideas which I have given, but as I can't write everything here. Second option can be the leasing, but we need to pay an amount when you're hiring it, and also we can only hire when it is in need. But bank loan, I will never give you a chance because it's very high procedures and very high interest rate when it comes to getting this type of PPA. So we have scored 40 marks of the paper. I hope if you have loved these answers until now, the way I'm explaining, subscribe to the channel now if you haven't subscribed. As I said on the starting of my video, 75% of my subscribers, my viewers haven't subscribed the channel. So I request you all to subscribe now and hit the bell button. So whenever I upload a video, you will be notified. So let's move on to the third question tomorrow, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to the third question. And this is the third day recording. We have explained question number 1 and question number 2 on the previous 2 days which I have recorded. It takes a lot of time. I don't want to give you part 1, part 2, part 3. So if this video is complete and your paper solution will be complete, that's the reason I've been sitting on this computer for 3 days to make this case study solve. So that from my time, auspicious time, I'm giving this because I want you guys to score better on your exam. So let's move on to the third question. Explain one cost and one benefit for PPE of developing a new product. Cost of developing a new product and explanation. And also they're asking what is the one cost you will go through, what is one benefit you will get from a new product by producing a new product, what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage. So one point about what type of cost you're going to bear, and one point what is the advantage you're going to bear. So one cost of developing a new product can be a market research. A market research is very important. You can also write identify new ingredients, new part of the product, or making a new product. They need to spend some sort of money, or maybe adding some features. They need to add some sort of cost. You can write anything what you feel, but I'll write market research cost. Okay, guys. So I'll write here market research cost. So what is the explanation we can give? Why do you need to have a cost of market research? What might be a possible thing happening through a market research? Through a market research, the business will be able to understand what the customers needs and wants. This will give them an opportunity in producing the most required product to the entire market. And also you can also write, and proper correct market research or accurate market research can decrease the chance of losing the customer base. So if you don't do market research and if you just supply products to the customers won't feel like this product is always the same, so this company is always the same. So it's not a good company. If you have a good market research, you will understand what the customer need. Actually, I have given you a meaning. 3 answers I have given here. I said through a market research, the business will be able to understand what the customers needs and wants. This will give them an opportunity in producing the most required product to the entire market. And accurate market research can decrease the chance of losing the customer base. So you can keep the customer base very happy because you're always having a knowledge about the market and updated. So this will also give you a chance of keeping yourself out from the competitors. Benefit of developing a new product. What is the benefit? So we'll write the benefit of new product. I can write the good answer is unique selling point. So when I say unique selling point, it's very easy to understand. Like if you develop a good product, you have a chance to say that you are different from your competitors. So that itself will give you a chance to make more business, because when you compare yourself with competitors, you are better and you are very innovative because you are a new product, and that will keep you diversified when it comes to your product, and that will reduce the level of chances of losing the market. So we'll write some points for this unique selling point. I'm going to erase the first one. So I'll write here unique selling point. Many students think that unique selling point is selling in one place. It's not like that. Unique selling point means a new feature, a new product, a new featured product to the customer base. Now, for example, if you take iPhone always bring new product. iPhone 13, iPhone Pro Max, whatever it is, they always bring new type of series into the market. So you also need to understand that unique selling point keeps the adding on new features to the product, so that keeps the customers very happy and updated with the product what you give. So here explanation I can give, this gives the chance for the business, for PPE, for PPE, this gives the chance for PPE. So I'll write here, yeah, of winning the competition, as they have a new feature and as they have a new product in the market, as they have a new innovative product in the market. This also gives them high chance to diversify their products. Diversify means they have like different products on the market. They don't only produce one product, so they can produce a lot of products. Diversify their products. By diversifying, they can reduce the chance of losing the market share. So if you diversify your product, you will not be having a chance to go out of the market. You'll always have a chance to be in the market. You'll always have a chance to, there's different models, so people will have a chance to choose and select your product. So these are the 8 marks. These are 8-mark answer which I have written for you. So almost 48 marks we have completed. Let's move on to the 12-mark answer now on the next page. So this is question number 3B we are going to discuss. So they have given 3 types of pricing schemes on the paper. Consider the following 3 pricing methods PPE could use when launching its new product. Which product method should it use? Justify your answer. As I said, for 3 options, always write 3 points. Don't write more than that, because for recommendation also you're gonna write a lot. But for me, I write all the points whichever I can in the number of lines which they are given, because finally I'm going to give a recommendation which will suit me. So here, cost plus, already. You have a cost, you will keep a margin and you will sell to the customer. Penetration is where you charge a lower price when you enter into the market. Once you get the customer base, you will increase the prices. Skimming, already you are setting a new price into the market because you are very famous, or you are very innovative, or maybe you are one of the biggest market leaders. These are the reasons you can be a skimming price. Or even if you want to show that your product is very, very quality, you will charge a skimming price. So with that understanding, we'll start writing the first one, cost plus pricing. So I'm going to write here cost plus pricing methods. You need to know what is good when launching a product. So I'll write here cost plus pricing will give a chance for PPE to keep margin of profit in all the products they sell. So this is the first thing you need to know when it comes to cost plus pricing, because they can charge any private product they sell, they can keep a margin. This will increase the amount of profit of the business, as they are charging using different raw materials for different products. It might be useful, right? But then you can also say, but on the other side, competitors can grab the market if the price is too high. PPE will eventually lose their customers. So if you try to keep profit in all the products you sell, you might lose sometimes the customers, because you should not always target profit in everything. What happens to most of the business, they always target to keep more profit as much as possible in every product they sell. That's not the correct way to do the business. But when it comes to here, it's a good thing, because cost plus pricing is a good thing, because they're trying to target each and every people based on the needs of the customer. So in job production basis, so in somewhat way, cost plus pricing is a better option. But then we can also speak about penetration and then skimming. So here I spoke about cost plus pricing will give a chance for PPE to keep margin of profit in all the products they sell. This will increase the amount of profit of the business, as they are using different raw materials for different products. So here I forgot to write different products. You can write here, sorry, different products. This is why I read it. Sometimes when I write, I make mistakes. Always remember to write. When you write, you need to read it, then you will not make mistakes when you write in the exam paper. If you make a mistake, then of course you can change it. So, but on the other side, competitors can grab the market if the price is too high. PP will eventually lose their customers. On the next part, we will speak about penetration pricing. So we have written already for 3 marks. For 3 marks, I have written almost like 4 points, almost like 4 marks. It's too much, but then it's okay, because you might sometimes examiner will love your point or might not love your point, so you will lose what you have. So penetration is good. It's better to bring new customers to the business. Bring new customers for PPE when they charge low prices. Lower prices. This will attract more customers to the business and increase more profit. No, increase more customer and increase more market share, because more customers are turning into your business. So the market share, the entire market, you might have a lot of spaces to acquire, and you will acquire the entire market. So more market share will be acquired. But on the other side, the customers will think cheap, low prices means low quality. So this is one of the reasons you should not charge penetration, because customers will think it's a lower price, so you should not go for that, because it's very low and their quality might be low. If it is very high price, people have a mindset, okay, the price is high, so maybe the quality what they are giving might be high on the market. So, but on the other side, the customers will think lower price means lower quality, and also as less profit is charged for the products, lower revenue will take place. So your revenue will not be high, because you are charging a very low price. Your revenue, the complete money which you are going to get, or the profit you are going to make, is going to be very less than you expected. So skimming is like charging a very high price, maybe because of your innovativeness. As you saw on the advertisement on the Appendix 2, they have given that they have an advertisement they made in Appendix 1. They said that that their products are better than the competitors, and they are so much in quality. So in that point of view, skimming is a good way of charging a price. So skimming, charging a high price for the customers. From the customers, this will increase the amount of profit at high stake. So you will have a huge revenue, because you are charging a high price. So even if there's 1-2 people purchasing from you, they will purchase at a big amount. And also they have a perception, higher prices gives an image that the business products are high in quality. So this is the advantages of using a skimming price. But on the other side, skimming, this type of pricing should ensure to satisfy customers more for the price they are paying. They pay. And if the product is not satisfactory as they think, it will tarnish the reputation of the business. And also, skimming is a good pricing method when it comes to this type of business. So from this 3 point of view, I can either say skimming is one of the good way, and then the second thing, the innovativeness also should be there when it comes to products like this. Second option is cost plus pricing will be a chance to recommendation, but penetration I won't go on that particular way. So I'll write here the recommendation. I'm gonna erase this off. What is the recommendation we're going to write? We are going to write from the above, we can conclude that business should select the skimming pricing if they are keeping their innovativeness and offering tailor-made products. As this is a job production, it's better they tailor-made, or you can say offering customer-based products. Okay. When it comes to government, you can't speak about it because I'm talking about each and individual customers. You can also say the alternative option will be cost plus pricing, but sometimes the pricing might be higher than the competitor. The least option PPE should take is penetration pricing. So this is the explanation which I have given. From the above, we can conclude that the business should select the skimming pricing if they are keeping the innovativeness and offering customer-based products. The alternative option will be cost plus pricing, but sometimes the pricing might be higher than the competitor. And the least option, PP, should take its penetration pricing. Why? Because penetration pricing, sometimes you might lose the customers, though you have a customer base. You can't, when you charge a high price, they will leave out of the business, because you who are charging all these days low price. Also, when you increase price, they can't buy it up. So these are the reasons we can write for recommendation. So with that, we'll start on the next day, the question number 4, and keep on watching, guys. Don't off it. If you watch the entire video only, you will understand. So we'll discuss the 4th part on the next day, guys. See you, and it'll start in a while. Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the question number 4. Explain 4 functions of management carried out by Kari. So when I speak about management functions, you need to remember only 4 things, which will always comes to a mind. I teach the students as POLC, POLC. So P stands for planning, O stands for organizing, L stands for leading, and C stands for controlling. So you can write 4 points out of this. Now I have given you 4 points, 4 marks. We already scored by remembering. Commanding, maybe communication also can be other C you can use here. If you want, I'll write here commanding, communicating. Those are also functions of management. But for me, this 4 is always a remembrance for students. They will not forget very fast. So planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Is bulk is the mnemonic you can use when you are learning in your exams. So let's start with the first part. What is the planning this lady Kari can do? I'm going to move on to the case study again to revise what we have learned until now. You can see this lady Kari sets out her own objective. She has her own plans and targets. So we can write that as an answer to this. So here I'll write Kari plans her weekly target and sets the targets to her employees as well. So this is the first answer which we will write for 8 mark. It's a very quick 8 mark, so it's very easy to get. Second, organizing. So ensuring the work is appropriately given to the correct skilled labor. So as she has 3 employees, she should decide which employee will do this particular task first, and that will give her a chance of organizing the things in a proper manner. Third, leading. So we can write leading here. Guiding her 3 staffs and motivating them. So motivating them to get the work done. So right here, motivating them to get the work done can also be another reason which we can say. And the fourth thing, as I'm going a bit down, I'll erase this all entire thing. So we'll write the fourth thing, factor 4, planning, organizing, leading, controlling. So controlling is the fourth thing which we are going to write for the function. So controlling, ensure business activities of PPE is under control when it comes to responsibilities and duties. We can also say ensure the business activity of PPE is under control, and also ensuring the employees are in control, which means because she needs to take care of the 3 employees, so she always need to find out is the employees are under her control or not. If they are out of control, then of course the business cannot do the task what they really want to do. So this is a quick 8 marks answer which we explained. So we'll move on to the next part of the answer which we are going to discuss now. The fourth, now we have almost scored 72 marks out of the paper. Fourth B part they are given. So this appendix calculation I did on the first day itself. I think you remember on the first video. I'll just take you to whiteboard. This is the explanation which I have made on the first video. I spoke about the small equipment. I spoke about the large equipment. Then I said you what's the selling price and quantity, what's the total revenue. Again, I'll refer it for your knowledge. On the small equipment, the business is making 1,500 worth of revenue, and the cost is 375, but the profit is 1,125, and they're making a 75% of gross profit margin. In large equipment, they are having 3,000 weekly 3 units they are getting to construct, and the total cost is 1,500, so they are getting a profit. But the profit is very big when it comes to government firms, and also they are saying that 50% is the gross profit margin. So there was also an appendix 3 which I wanted to refer you before we move on to the final conclusion. You remember here they said that in newspaper article the government has planned to spend $5,000 on equipment, and in each one equipment playground. So the profit might be very high if this type of business PP is taking the project with the government. But then 10 million is the money they are planning to spend. So 10 million divided by 5,000 will be 2,000 playgrounds they will get a chance to do the project. But on the other side, the demand for the small items on the playgroup equipment is also increasing. Parents are choosing to produce more on this particular thing, but the trend is expected to continue. It is expected to continue, but government's project, it's just one project which they have spoken now So we'll move on to the article. We'll move on to the question now and discuss. Yeah. So this is what I was explaining all this time. I think I have not changed the bar of the question. You need to understand that they have given here. Yeah, 5,000 is the amount they are going to spend in each equipment. So 10 million is the amount of project they are going to invest, the government. So 10 million, if you divide by 5,000, they are getting almost like 2,000 playgrounds. You need to have an ideology. So 2,000 playgrounds is a big amount of investment. On the other side, they are saying that small items of playground equipment is also expected to continue. So if I have not seen the window which I was explaining, that's the reason I recap the same thing again. We'll move on to the question now and discuss the entire part. So moving on to the question. Yeah. The question says that using Appendix 2 and other information, so I'll erase this off. Consider whether PP should produce only large items of playground equipment or produce only small items of playground equipment. Justify your answer using suitable calculations. Produce only large items of playground equipment. So playground equipment, why do you want to produce playground equipment? You should always start the total revenue in this way of the large items. I'll take it a bit bigger here. The total revenue of large items for a week is 3,000. This calculation you should write like this here. You don't want to show the workings here. Is $3,000, whereas the cost of this equipment is $1,500. The business PPE is able to create a profit of $1,500 every week, achieving a gross profit margin of, how much is the percentage? 50%. 50%. In long term, the government has also issued a newspaper article that they are going to invest 10 million on future playgrounds. This will create 2,000 playgrounds. So I'll write here 10 million. How did I get this 2,000? 10 million divided by, so 10 million, yeah, divided by 5,000 is the dollar of each playground, and write per ground will give you a value of 2,000. If you want, you can show this. If not, it's not a mandatory thing to show. This will create 2,000 playgrounds. Okay, not per ground, yeah, playgrounds, per playground. This will create 2,000 playgrounds. 10 million divided by $5,000 per playground. So giving a chance, huge chance for PP, for giving a huge chance for PP to construct the play equipments. The business image 2 will go up if they receive this order from the government. But on the other side, what is the other side? disadvantage. The disadvantage can be, or the negative effect can be, don't write disadvantage, the negative effect can be the competitors might to get this project. So if the competitors get the project, you will lose all the profit which you are making. So that will not be a persistent thing. And this project is a one-off project. So after one project, you don't have any idea that the business will do. So not having a stable upfront assurance, okay, about making high profit in large items playground. So I spoke about so many points. I'll read it out louder for you to understand. You can see here the total revenue of the large firms, large items for a week is $3,000, whereas the cost of this equipment is $1,500. It's very important for you to show the calculations. PP is able to create a profit of $1,500 every week, achieving a gross profit margin 50%. Already you scored 4 marks there, but then I gave you more points for you to understand. You don't want to go this detail. The government has also issued a newspaper article that they are going to invest 10 million on future playgrounds. This will create 2,000 playgrounds, which means 10 million divided by 5,000 per playground, giving a huge chance for PPA to construct to play equipments. The business image too will go up if they receive this order from the government, because people will trust, because they are building a lot of play equipments to the playgrounds. The negative effect can be the competitors might to get this project. So if competitors get this project, they will lose the chance of hitting the market. And this project is one-off project, not having a stable upfront assurance about making high profit in large items of playground. So you don't know this project will come to your hand or not. There's a question mark on that. And the second thing, I'll start with the same tone. They produce only small items of playground. Right here, the total revenue of small items of playground equipment is, so I can write here, the total revenue of small items of playground equipment is, you all already know, $1,500. The cost of raw materials or cost of production is $375. The profit made from small equipment tends to be how much, guys? 1,125, providing 75% of gross profit margin. So you can also write the trend for this the small items is making a gross profit margin 25% higher gross profit margin compared to large items of playground. And what else we can write? And the parents love to purchase more products in future, creating a trend. So this is the answer. So I will always go with the second part. The reason small items is a good part because it is giving a 25% profit, and also there's a trend that the business will not go down. So this is where the business should ensure that rather than producing the large items, the business should always produce the small items here. So I'll write the conclusion here. I'm going to write a conclusion. Yeah. So I'm going to erase this off. The conclusion is going to be the large items so you should compare. Okay, profits tend to be higher than the small items. Yeah, because large items profit was $1,500, but small items only 1,125. So 375 was higher when it comes to large items. But large item profits and if PPE takes more projects from government, they can make very high profits, right? So if they invest more money from the government, if they take a lot of investments, a lot of projects from the government, they can make high profits. But is it stable? The project, the government, or I can also write the small business, small items, or small equipment is making 25% higher GP, gross profit margin, compared to what items, guys? Large items. Large items. So the small equipment is making 25% higher gross profit margin compared to large items, and the business has a trend for future. As large items, large equipments doesn't have an assurance that the project will be taken by PPE, it's better PPE choosing small equipments in production. And also you can say that as large equipment doesn't have an assurance that the project will be taken by PPE, it's better PPE choosing small equipment in production. But what is the next thing you will need to write? But small PPE should hire more skilled workers to provide services to its customers. So let me read the conclusion, guys. The large items profit tends to be higher than the small items, and if PPE takes more projects from government, they can make a very high profit. You might see that $1,500 was the amount of return large items gave, but 1,125 was the profit which was from the small items. But when they take more projects from the government, they can make more profit. But unfortunately, small equipment is making 25% gross profit margin than the large items. But if the large equipment doesn't have a promise that they will be paying that money, as large equipment doesn't have an assurance that the project will be taken by PPE, it's better PPE choosing small equipment product. So I have given a conclusion. It's better you switch on to choosing small equipment in producing, then you can make high profits. As there's a trend going on to this type of project, and then but PPE should hire more skilled workers. On the other side, though, if you take the skilled small equipments, you need to hire more skilled workers. So I have explained you the complete paper on this 4 day sitting with you all. I think this is going to be a big video, and thanks a lot for watching the entire thing. If you guys like it, subscribe the channel, and if you want more videos, please put a comment under this video, and see you guys on another video with a new content. Have a nice day.